back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman T.J. Lang.
And back we are to the fifth quarter. Don't forget, coming up later in the show, we'll have our email question of the week, sponsored by Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau. Your chance to win a ski package for two. It's valued at more than $400. Send us your question now at inthehuddleshow.com. Inthehuddleshow.com. You could be a winner, and we'll give you a chance to take home that ski package and enjoy that later on this winter. Also, transportation for our players provided by L&S Classic Limousine Service. Personal professional service for all occasions. Call 1-800-830-5933 for your reservation. Well, back with T.J. Lang here at the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Our guest tonight is in his fifth NFL season, fourth with the Green Bay Packers. He is running back / fullback John Kuhn, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
No longer just a fullback. Yeah, I think people have to really take you seriously as a legitimate running back. And you averaged 4 yards a carry yesterday, 36 yards on 9 rushes, led this football team in rushing, and given the way they kind of spread it out, it was a job well done.
Well, anytime you go into a game, you don't really know how to expect what we're going to do play call wise, and me and Brandon we were just going to be ready for anything, and they did. They spread it out. We weren't sure how the reps were going to go, and they spread it out pretty evenly, and we were both pretty happy.
When I watch you run, what I think is the neat thing about watching you run is the fact that you are a definite north-south runner. You pretty much run the way you block. You get to it. You see the hole, and in case if you see a block, you go get it. And you get right after it, and there's no delay, there's no dancing around from one side to the other.
Yeah, in the case of me, I'm not very fast, so if I start dancing around, I'm not going to get anywhere. So, the line has been doing such a great job this year with opening some holes, and what's there, I'm going to try and get.
There's been a lot of talk already in ESPN and the chat rooms and so forth about trades. That the Packers are supposedly interested in picking up another running back in a trade. You're out there playing, you're doing your best. How does that affect you guys at all?
No, that doesn't affect us very much. We're all here with the same goal. We got 53 guys on this team that are only trying to win a Super Bowl. The goal each week is not for us to rush for 100 yards or for any individual person to get goals. It's to win the game. And if bringing somebody in here is going to help us win more games, then we're all for it.
So how'd you think the running game went? What do the coaches think today?
Well, the running game needs to pick up a little bit. We we like to average 4.5 a rush, and we always take the quarterback scrambles out of there because those don't really count. We didn't average that yesterday, so we definitely got a little bit of room for improvement. But all in all, it's a starting point, and we can only go up from here.
So where does that improvement come from?
Well, I think it comes from all areas. It comes from just more repetition, more reps at practice, getting in there, getting in the ebb and flow of the game. I know speaking on my behalf, that was, the first time I've gotten, live action like that in a regular season game that consistently. And, with all that aside, I think it's just more reps.
Mm-hmm. You are from Pennsylvania. Shippensburg is where you went to college. Is that like a 1A?
No, that's a Division II.
Division II school. Mm-hmm. And you originally signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the National Football League.
Yes.
And then you come to Green Bay for the last 4 years. What was it like in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, it's very similar to Green Bay. They were owned by one family, their whole entirety, the Rooneys, and very homely, very good atmosphere, very similar to Green Bay.
Were you a Steelers fan?
No, I wasn't a Steelers fan growing up. I kind of grew up right in the middle of central Pennsylvania where the Eagles and the Steelers kind of clashed.
Okay, so you're an Eagles fan?
No, I wasn't an Eagles fan.
You're neither one, huh? All right. So you spend some time with the Steelers. Do you still keep an eye on that organization a little bit, or?
Yeah, I still have friends that are over there. I spent 2 years there, and they got a little sentiment in my heart since they were the team that brought me out of college. So yeah, I still keep in touch with some people there.
Yeah, you want to talk about smash mouth football? That's the style they play.
And they're winning the hard way now.
Yeah. Well, they had yesterday their offense. They had 127 yards of total offense. And beat Tennessee 19-11, forced 7 turnovers, and that's getting it done. When your quarterback is not there yet, and didn't they have another quarterback go down yesterday?
Yeah, I think that's their third quarterback now that's going down this year.
Yeah, so that's tough luck for them, but They're 2-0, you know, so it's better to be 2-0 with those problems than the alternative. This past February, you went aboard the USS John Stennis. Is that right, Stennis?
Yes.
A nuclear-powered Navy supercarrier to watch the Super Bowl with more than 2,000 sailors aboard. What was that like for you?
Man, that was an incredible experience. I mean, you don't understand the massive, just how big an aircraft carrier actually is, the time and the work, and each integral part that each person, each sailor plays on that ship. It was really amazing.
Were you by yourself or other players?
No, I was on there with Mason Crosby, our punter from last year, Capinos, and some of our equipment guys.
Okay, and what was, I mean, how did you guys hook up there?
Well, they kind of keep in touch because they have a couple people that have done some of the flybys here before the games for Lambeau Field. So they keep in touch with our equipment guys, some of the Marines do. And so they just brought the opportunity up to us, and we said, yeah, we'll go out there and do it. I mean, it's good for them. It's a morale booster for them and their seamen who've been out at sea for a couple months without, being in the land at all. So, if we can boost their morale a little bit for everything they do for us, that's great.
So would they fly you in? Just for the day, or
no? We were there for a whole weekend, and landing on an aircraft carrier from an airplane is pretty intense.
You pretty much come to an abrupt halt, huh?
Yes, very quickly.
You didn't lose your lunch, did you?
No, I was fine. Can't say the same for one of our equipment guys.
Well, your senior year, you rushed for almost 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns at Shippensburg. So you haven't always been a fullback.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of experience carrying the ball in college, and I think that's a little bit, what I'm trying to get back to a little bit here now.
Your bios is you've always worked. I mean, you're always doing something in the off season, in college, in the pros. You're a pretty busy guy. You don't like to sit still too long, do you?
Well, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. That's a motto we say in that Lambeau Field, and you can kind of take that and apply it to life sometimes too.
Yeah. How do you fit all that stuff in with your OTAs and off-season workout program?
You just find ways, and the coaches are pretty understanding. If you're doing things to better yourself, I mean, they're not going to complain.
Turn the TV on, and we kind of talked about the ESPN. When it reaches that stage, though, those guys are pretty well connected. Talking about all that trade stuff. Do you even pay attention to that at all?
You know what? I try not to. If you get caught up in that, you're not focusing on the real objective, and that's to make yourself better and, in a sense, make the team better.
TJ, what's it feel like to be 2-0 right now?
It feels great. I mean, we got off to a great start, and we like where the team's at right now, and we're going uphill. We're going to continue to prove every day.
All right, we talked a little bit before we went to break about that psycho package. It's basically what the psycho package is a down lineman and or an interior lineman, and then on defense, and then 5 linebackers and 5 safeties or combination safeties, corners. But nobody puts their hand down on the ground, and everybody kind of just moves around. So you guys see that in practice on offense. What do you do? What's the key? I mean, I haven't seen anybody stop it yet.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, we try to do is just identify the 4, sometimes 5 guys that are rushing, and we try to put our 5 big linemen on the 5 guys that are rushing, and leave the running back with someone else. But it's very tough when you got guys moving around like that. You put your head down and you look up, and the guy's all the way on the other side of the ball. So the most important thing is just identifying and communicating and getting everybody on the same page with who you're blocking, and those guys do a fantastic job. I mean, we got some great pass rushers on our defense, and I think that's where Clay's first sack came from yesterday, out of that psycho package, and you got guys bouncing around, running all over the place. It's tough as an offense to pick it up, and it's tough to identify who's rushing. So that's a great package for our defense.
Yeah, you want to confuse the offensive line, but you ultimately and mostly you want to confuse the quarterback. And I think I saw a replay from television where Trent Edwards walked up to the line of scrimmage, and he was looking, and these guys are bouncing around all over the place. And he looked in his eyes, and they showed his eyes. They just grew like saucers. I mean, they were, he didn't know what was coming.
Yeah, I mean, with that package too, the most important thing is, just being on the same page with your quarterback. He likes to know where the offensive line's blocking, and we like to know where the running back's going. So that's tough. I mean, our defense they're gonna make a lot of plays out of that package.
That's TJ and Lang. Don't forget to email us your questions, inthehuddleshow.com. We'll have more from the fifth quarter in Little Chute coming up after this on the Woodward Radio Network.